You should have received something that looks like this in the mail. A set of yarns set around a couple of sticks. You're going to need to attach them somewhere so you can work on them without them wiggling all over. I'm going to take a loop of string. It's folded over on one side. I'll place the yarn behind this all, below the knot and just above the sticks. And then I take the cut ends, these ends over here, and I'm going to bring them through the loop on this side. And then I snug that loop tight. Just like that. So now this yellow string, I can use that to attach to, say, a chair here. I take that setup of the sticks and that yellow string, I'm going to attach it around the back of the chair. Pull one string through and I tie a knot, any kind of knot. I'm tying like a shoelace sort of knot so I can remove it, adjust it as needed. Then I pull the sticks up here and I'm ready to finger weave. To start off, let's have a good look at the way the threads are set around the sticks. Notice that the first thread, the thread here at the right, is a white thread. He goes around the lower stick and then to the back. And on the left, the leftmost thread comes under that stick and into the threads at the front. Now if I turn it over, we've got a red thread at the right, but it's that the first thread goes around into the back, and at the left, the very last thread comes up into my hand. I'm now going to remove this safety string holding the white threads. I call these threads, the ones in my hand, those are called front threads, and these threads, the red threads, I'm going to call the back threads. Now, key to an efficient way to use your fingers for finger weaving is the way you hold the threads. I've got the front threads here across my palm, and I'm going to move these fingers together here. I'm going to make a space between my middle and ring finger, and I'm going to take these back threads and I'm going to put the back threads through this space here so they come around through the space between my middle and ring finger. You want to take a minute and make sure that you've got the threads set up the way I've got them set here. This is the way I always place the threads in my hand, and I find it makes it much easier to do the motions to get the threads to weave together. Now, if I close the fingers of my hand, then you can see I'm holding the front threads between my thumb and index finger, and the back threads are held between my middle and ring finger. That's the basic hold. And a right-handed person will hold in the left hand, just like that. Now, with the special star method we talked about, the first thing to do is to select the rightmost thread. So that would be this one right here. If you turn the sticks this way, you see which thread is on the top. It's this red one that goes to the back. So that's the thread I'm going to select. And I have this special place right here between my index and middle finger. It has a very important role. Let me draw your attention to this space. I'm going to take that first thread and I'm going to put it in this special place, and these two fingers are going to stay glued together for the entire row. That's how I'm going to get that thread to travel all the way across. What happens next is that I move threads one by one from this hand here to this hand, and the manner in which I move them does the weave. Okay, once again, terminology. These threads here, the ones in the front of my index finger, are called front threads, and these threads here, I'm going to call these the back threads. Now, front position on my right hand means threads are going to come over my index finger, and this place between index and middle finger, that's where I'm going to place threads I want to be in back position. Now, let's see. This thread here was the first thread, and he's a traveler. This thread, this white thread in front position, is the first one to get switched. He's in front, and I want him to go to the back position in my right hand, which means I'm going to take him with my middle finger. With my index finger, I close down, and I call this a scissor grab. Let me do that again. I sneak up behind with my middle finger, and I close down my index finger, and I just drag that string to the right, and he's done. He's moved from front position in my left hand to back position in my right hand, automatically. Okay, going back to the threads in my left hand, this thread here between my two fingers is the weft. I'm not going to touch him, but with my thumb and index, I'm going to fetch the next back thread. If I take it with my thumb and index finger, it's automatically moved to front position in my right hand. Okay, I've got two threads in this hand. Let's go for three. The third thread I'm going to take with my middle finger, close down the index. That moves a front thread to the back. I also grab with my ring finger and my little finger. And I now have 3 threads in my right hand. Let's go for 4 threads. The next thread I'm going to take with my pinch grab, my index and thumb, and I'm going to go behind this string here, go behind the sideways thread, grab the next back thread. I take it with my pinch grab, and now I've got 4 threads in my right hand. My middle finger is going to go next, middle and index. I scissor grab at the front, and then these 2 fingers are going to go behind. They're going to go behind the thread held in the special place, and I pinch that back thread, bring it to the front. See my ring and little finger come around and grab all of the threads all together there. My scissor grab goes next. Middle finger sneaks up behind, and I close down the scissors. And then I go behind this sideways thread. You can see how he's gone behind these threads off here to the left. Yep, he's being the sideways thread. I'm going to go behind him, and I pick up a thread from the back. I take it with my thumb and index finger. I call that the pinch grab. And then the next one is a scissor grab, which means my middle finger sneaks behind. I close my index finger. That's the scissors. Be careful to take the threads in order. They sometimes jump ahead, like this thread here. You want to keep your eye up there on the sticks. And if you watch the threads lined up along the sticks, you'll be better able to tell when there's a thread jumping ahead. So let me see. This one. This is the correct next thread. That was a pinch grab. Next thing is a scissor. Then a pinch, pick up from the front, and then scissor. Whoops! Do you see that one also is not a correct thread? Keep your eye on the sticks. Look and see where the threads came from, and then you will be able to much more easily tell which is the correct next thread. Okay, let's see. Pick up from the back. I pinch at the back, and I scissor at the front. The next thread is this one. Grab him with a scissor grab, take him to the back. Pinch from the back, scissor from the front. Pinch from the back, scissor from the front. Pinch from the back, scissor from the front. Now, at the end of the row, there's a funny thing that always happens. I tend to feel kind of disoriented. The last thread I took was a scissor. I look again and see where that sideways thread went through, so that's the sideways thread. I need to go behind that one to pinch. And then, because I pinched, now the next thing is scissors. Scissor means I sneak my right hand middle finger along my left hand index finger, come up behind that thread, and scissor grab. And let's see, because I scissored last, I'm going to pinch this thread. I look to see at the end of this row, I've got all the reds in front now, and all the whites in back. Now, another way you can check to make sure you've done it correctly is you can look in here and you can see that you've got this really nice up, down, up, down, up, down arrangement. If that looks good, you did it correctly. So this business here, I'm going to push that down a ways. I grab the new front threads, put them here across my palm. I move these 2 fingers together, these 2, and this space here, that's where I grab the back threads. I bring the back threads through there, and I'm ready for row 2. Once again, I turn my hand this way, and I look to see which thread is on top. This white one is on top of the pile. It goes around to the back. I take it from the back position, and I put it in the special place here, and it's going to stay in the special place all the way across the row. Then the next thread is this front thread. I'm going to take it into my right hand using my scissor grab. My middle finger sneaks behind and takes it off to the right. Then I reach behind the thread that's in the special place, go behind that one, and I take this thread with my pinch grab. Pinch and scissors. And pinch a thread from the back and scissor a front thread. I look to see this is the thread in the special place. I go behind him to pinch, go in front of him to scissors. I go behind and pinch, and in front, and I scissors. Go behind and pinch. Now, this is the wrong thread. You want to be looking up. Keep your eye up here, and this is where you make the selection of the threads. Scissor and pinch. Scissor and pinch. Scissor and pinch. Come in front to scissors, and you go behind to pinch. Come in front to scissors, behind to pinch, scissor, and at the end of the row, let's see, at the end of the row, this was a scissors. I'm going to take my pinch grab, and I'm going to go behind the thread that went across there. I go behind this thread, and I pinch. Then I scissors. So my middle finger is going to sneak behind the thread that's here in front of the index finger, close down the scissors, and then the last thread gets pinched. There you go. That's 2 rows done. Now you may notice that the row kind of leans downhill a little bit. Yes, that's totally normal. That's one of the hallmarks actually of finger weaving, that it leans downhill. I'm going to snug the threads up a little bit, and I'm ready for row 3. Now on row 3, there's something I want you to be aware of. This sometimes happens. You start out just like you're supposed to. You look and see, yes, this is the thread that goes first and it goes in the special place. And then I always start with a scissor grab and pinch a back thread, scissor grab a front thread, pinch a back thread, scissor a front thread. Everything is going normal, but I want you to watch this index finger. In every class, there's somebody's index finger that's kind of overzealous. And when that index finger goes to pick up one of these back threads, that index finger does a funny thing. Keep your eye on my index finger because it goes like this to grab. And what happens is that index finger, yeah, he grabbed that new thread, but he let go of all of the other ones. Oh dear. So what to do about this? Well, talk to your index finger and tell your index finger he's got to collect them all. So tell your index finger we're going to take them one by one, add a new thread every time. So we start, the first thread goes in the special place, and then we start with the scissors, that's 1. Then pinch at the back, that's 2. Then scissor at the front, that's 3 and 4. Now tell your index finger he's collecting them all. We go for 5, and now tell your index finger 6. Now we've got 6 threads there. Yes, we're going to collect them all, and maybe that will help. 7 and 8, and scissor and pinch, and scissors at the front, pinch at the back, scissor at the front, pinch at the back, scissor and pinch, and scissor and pinch, and scissor and pinch, scissor, pinch, scissor, and pinch. It's time to take a break. I'm going to put in a safety string so nothing bad happens. The safety string is this little loop. It's got a knot at one end. I'm going to pass the knot into this space here, into the space between the front and back, between the red and white. There's the knot, and there's a loop on this side. I'm going to take the knot, and I'm now going to put it through the loop, and I pull it tight. That holds the shed. It also keeps the front threads all together. When I come back after my break, these will be the front threads when I start up again.